Hello, and welcome to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast with your host, me, Hal Coleman, uncensored and unplugged. Pay attention, take lots of notes, because you're going to find out exactly how to get more new customers, more referrals, and grow your business.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Hello, folks. This is Hal Coleman, the Pest Control Marketer, and welcome to another episode of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast, where we try to help you grow your business, get more new customers, make more money, and be more successful. And I'm here, as always, with my friend, my associate, and mentor, Mr. Online Mike Stewart. How you doing, Mike?
It's another great day in the neighborhood. You know, I'm so excited that new Mr. Rogers movie coming out, so I got to see that. That's why it's another great day in the neighborhood, like Fred Rogers used to say.
Yeah, me too. I want to see that movie, and I also want to see the movie about Richard Jewell. You know, Richard Jewell and I became friends over the years, and not real close friends, but we talked some and got to know him through some other people, and was around him on quite a good many occasions. And what a nice guy! What a super nice, sweet man. And unfortunately, he died at 44 years old from stress-related illnesses. What he had to go through, and he's a true American hero. So I want to see that movie also. Anyway, don't mean to get off on that. You know what I want to talk about today?
People, if you've listened to this podcast, when you hear it now, I hear it too. So what are we talking about?
We're going to talk about how to use your vehicle to get more new customers.
Oh.
And Zig Ziglar, I think, used to refer to the vehicle as four-wheel university.
Yeah.
That you got a CD player in there. Back in his day, you had a cassette player in there. But what you should be doing in your vehicle, besides listening to music or listening to talk shows, what you need to be doing to better yourself and your life and your business by learning as you ride. And also, there's the physical aspect of your business and your signage on the side of your vehicle. And your signage, it's a rolling billboard. So what does that billboard say, and where does that billboard go, and how does that billboard on the side of your vehicle convert the people who see it into new customers? So does that sound like something that would be beneficial to our listeners?
Well, every one of our listeners, if they have a business, they're going to probably be going into the business, or they're going to be going out. This is a business of people getting in a truck or a car and going from house to house. I mean, there's no way you can sit behind a computer all day long and do pest control. So you're going to spend a percentage of your day going from point A to point B. And what you do with that truck or car can make a huge difference on the success of your business. What's on the outside of that truck and what's going on the inside of that truck. So maybe we should. You want to start on the outside or the inside?
Yeah, I will. We did an earlier podcast on sales letters, which is salesmanship in print, and in my workshops, I teach people, and with my clients, how to properly. And when I say properly, I mean I'm referring to the context of how to make the phone ring by people who see your vehicle. And I see so many vehicles who just, there's the old saying, conventional wisdom, nice and clean. Don't clutter it up. Nice and clean. That's what they say. And a lot of white space there. And that's conventional wisdom, and I refer to conventional wisdom as the silent killer of businesses and hopes and dreams, conventional wisdom. So we don't want to you and I don't do anything based on conventional wisdom. But when somebody sees your vehicle driving down the road, or they see your vehicle stop beside them at a traffic light, or if they see your vehicle, in line in front of them in the Starbucks drive-through, or they see your vehicle parked in a supermarket in front of a Kroger store, or they see your vehicle at school, wherever they see your vehicle, in a restaurant parking lot, do they look at it and say, wow? Or do the kids in the car say, Mom, look at that truck, look at that vehicle, look at that vehicle, look. Does your vehicle attract attention, or is it just a quiet, nondescript, lackluster vehicle, clean, nothing on it except the name of your company and a little phone number somewhere? Does it shout out, look at me? And does it follow up with, look at me and what I have for you? That's the key. I had a guy who came to my, now this has been quite a few years ago now, Mike, it's probably been 10 years ago. A guy called me up and said, I'd like to come. I left this big company. He'd been working for a big multi-million dollar pest control company. He had been their technical director for years, and he said, I have left that company and I've gone out on my own, something I always have wanted to do. And before I get too old to climb up on ladders and crawl under houses, I want to have my own business. And he said, I want to book a day with you. Would you do that for me? I said, yeah, I'll book a day with you. So he lived about 100 miles from me. So we arranged for him to come up to my, we just met at my house. I said, I got this big back porch out there, and we can have a cigar if we like or whatever, and we'll work, and then we'll go grab lunch right up the road. So he came up to spend a day, and he pulled into my driveway, and in a brand new vehicle, and it had just been basically wrapped. And he got out of that car, out of that truck, and kind of smiling. He said, "How you like my new truck? I just got it done." And I looked at it and I said, "Well, you want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to lie to you?" He said, "No, I want you to tell me the truth." I said, "Well, Mark," I said, "it sucks." He said, "What?" I said, it's terrible." He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." So I went on to explain. Now, the truck was gorgeous, and it had a picture of a lighthouse on the side of the truck shining down across the name of his business, which was Landmark. And he said, and he knows I tell this story because he's told it too. He talked about this in PCT magazine, so he'll probably hear this podcast and he'll agree with me. But he said, I want it to be a lighthouse is a beacon. It's a landmark. And I said, but what does that have to do with pest control? Well, I want people to think of my company as a landmark. I said, but they won't. They won't. You're the only one that knows that. And we talked right there. This was outside, but when he just pulled in, we talked a lot about this. I said, how many new customers are calling, doing business with you, saying, I saw your vehicle? And he said, well, I don't know if any have. And I said, he said, come to think of it, he said, I've had several people comment, what does a lighthouse have to do with pest control? He said, I said, you see, there's this confusion. So I really talked him into turning right around and spending, I think, about $2,500 to redesign his vehicle. We talked a lot about it. I said, I promise you, if you're not satisfied and it doesn't, I think I told him, you do this and drive that vehicle for 6 months, and if it hasn't made you a lot of money, I'll pay for the wrap. I made him some kind of deal like that, and so he turned around and spent about $2,500, I think, getting that thing redone based on the design that I talked him into. And so, we didn't talk much after that. He called me one day. He was passing through Atlanta, and this was 2 years after he had designed that vehicle. I also talked about religiously, rapidly tracking everything. So he was on his way up to North Georgia to a cabin to spend the 4th of July weekend. He was coming through Atlanta, and he called me, or he is already through Atlanta, but he called me. He had a question. And I said, by the way, how's your vehicle doing for you? He said, well, I'm glad you asked that because I've been tracking it. And he said, I've had that vehicle now designed for 2 years. And he said, I have tracked a little over $43,000 worth of business directly from that truck. And he said, as a matter of fact, it's funny. He said, when I was on the way up to North Georgia, I came through Atlanta. I went around 285. That's the big perimeter loop around Atlanta. He said, I got 3 phone calls while I was on 285 from people calling me because they were seeing my vehicle on the interstate. They were following me, and they want to talk about pest control. And he said, I just had to laugh and say, I don't even live here. I'm just passing through town, but I appreciate the calls. So that is how dramatic it can be when you have the right message and the right design on the side of your rolling billboard. So, and then when you do, you want to put it in front of as many people as you can. So, when I had my vehicle, I would go to eat lunch at a restaurant back when I had my pest control business. And if I wanted to eat lunch, I knew the place was crowded at 12 o'clock. I'd get there at 11:30 so that I could get the parking lot right in front of the front door. The number one primo parking spot where everybody going in and out of that restaurant would see my vehicle. And I've had people, I would see their vehicles parked way off in another parking lot. I said, why'd you park way over there? Well, I didn't want to get my truck dinged. Dinged? I said, man, you can pay for a lot of dings if people are calling you doing business with you. Don't worry about the dings, but putting that vehicle in front of as many people as you can. And up here in some of the affluent areas where we live, up north of Atlanta, people have long driveways and have a tendency to pull around behind the house and park, so it's more convenient. But I would say to you, park it while you're there at that affluent person's home. Park it just barely up in the driveway or somewhere where it can be seen from the street by all of their neighbors going up and down the street, because they see your vehicle in front of somebody's house, and that gives them right there a vote of confidence to do business with you. And so there are all kind of offline ways, physical ways to use your vehicle to make the phone ring. And those are just a couple of ways there, but talk about what you can do when you're inside that vehicle, Mike.
Well, I will, but I got a couple of things that I think you need to add to the outside. And I know Mark is my customer as well as yours. And, when he came with that first wrap, you look at the truck and you didn't know if he fixed lighthouses or was beach chairs. You had no clue what the heck he did because there was nothing on the side of that truck that screamed pest control. So, I'm actually looking at a picture of his truck right now online, and you made him put big cockroaches and snakes and in big, bold, easy-to-read letters on the front and on the side.
Yeah, bats, possums, raccoons, coyotes, cockroaches.
His phone number was, one of the things, I've actually looked at trucks on the freeway of businesses, and the print is so small that if you are 2 car lengths behind them, you can't read it. And that's crazy. I mean, if you're going to put a phone number and a web address, be sure that it's big enough font, bold, not a fancy, what we call a non-serif font. You want it readable and memorable. So 2 things that you did with Mark's truck that I'm sure that he's tickled, and you've told him it's more than paid for itself. And we've actually had some pushback. I don't want to put ugly bugs on my truck. I don't want people, when I go into a neighborhood, that people see that there's a pest, people don't like having a pest control truck. Well, you know what? This is about your billboard. I don't think, if somebody was in my front yard parked with a truck that they're doing pest control work on my house, I don't care that the neighbors know. I want to get my problem solved. So you got to take care of you. So be sure that just when you go back to the sales letter concept, your truck is a rolling sales letter. And I'm going to tell you one other thing that you could put on your truck, something that you and I have been talking about recently in the audio world, and then we're going to get inside the truck here in a minute and talk about the rolling university concept.
A frozen margarita dispenser. No, that's not the one.
No, that's not the one. No, this is something I recommend that you study. It's called SERP terms. SERP, not syrup like you put on your pancakes. SERP terms. You should put your SERP terms. Find us online by searching. Find us online or Google. Just give you an example, and I dare you to test this. Landmark Pest and Wildlife. If Mark had on the side of his truck, just Google Landmark Pest and Wildlife. In big, bold letters, he dominates the search engines. So SERP terms, Google SERP terms, and learn what they are. Know what your SERP terms are. You know what our SERP terms are? Pest Control Marketing Podcast. Those are our SERP terms. We dominate Google for those words. 3 or 4 words that you dominate Google. So that's something else you can put on the outside of the truck. Let's talk about the inside of the truck. Well, number one, what are you doing while you're driving? Well, one, you better be 10 and 2 with your hands, and you better pay attention and be a defensive driver. But you can multitask and listen to information. Now, years ago, when it came to listening, you could listen to the radio or not listen to the radio. And now here's a word from our sponsor.
Google Pest Control Marketing. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Did you hear that? That is a jingle. But more than that, it is an audio logo and what I call a marketing earworm. But that's a bug, that's a worm you want in your local market on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and podcasts like you're listening to right now. Yes, you should do a podcast as a PCO, but we'll talk about that another time. You want your market singing Google your name, what you do, and your phone number. Simple, but it works. If you want to cash in on this marketing bonanza, go to pestcontrolmarketingjingles.com to learn more. Or just call me, Mike Stewart, at 770-826-3662, or call Hal Coleman at 770-993-0004. And we would love to show you how to do what we call search and call advertising with earworms. And oh yeah, it works on that old-timey technology of radio and television. Why don't you call us today and learn more?
Google Pest Control Marketing. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.
Or not listen to the radio. But they started putting cassette deck. Did you ever have an 8-track deck?
I had an 8-track. And that was the most amazing thing when 8 tracks came out, and I think they were out for 9 days before they became obsolete.
They didn't last very long because shortly after the 8-track, the cassette was invented. And what the cassette did was allow audio information, whether it be music or training, to be owned and played on demand. See, radio plays what they want. In other words, you turn on the radio and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you're going to hear the morning DJ. Well, I want to hear the afternoon DJ. Well, you're not going to hear him until the afternoon. You're not going to hear the 12 o'clock news until 12 o'clock. That's radio. But cassettes let you do something that they didn't call it back then, on demand and bingeable. You could have a box of cassettes and you could listen to them over and over again. And if you had a series of good information. So the Dashboard University that Zig Ziglar referred to was what he recommended. And that's why information marketers, as the early ones, a huge company, the very first, in fact, I highly recommend, if you've never heard The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, you can go to YouTube right now and listen to it on YouTube. And in fact, you can listen to it in your car now. Was originally a 78 RPM record of motivational sales information. How to be a better salesperson, how to be a successful person, Think and Grow Rich. And I got a story about Dashboard University that I want to share, Hal. Larry Latimer, our old mentor, God bless you, Larry, said, Mike, you need to read Think and Grow Rich. I read it. I forced myself to read that book cover to cover. I finished reading it, and I didn't remember anything I read. And I was so frustrated. I tried to comprehend it.
I thought you were going to say you were so drunk when you read it.
No. No. I read it, and nothing stuck in my brain. I read it again. Same result. But I was driving around Atlanta, networking, working with local businesses, building websites back in 94, 95, 96, in those years. And CD players were in my dashboard. It was a CD player. One of the first ones that you could get in the 90s in my car. And I saw at Borders Bookstore the audio CDs of Think and Grow Rich. And I listened to that one time and it clicked. See, I was an auditory learner. I have to hear things for me to comprehend and retain. And that may be you too. So that's why the rolling dashboard of learning, rather than, listening to the news, because all you're going to get through the airwaves is news or music or commercials. That's it. And if you like music, country music, rock and roll, oldies, I listen to the oldies station when I don't want to learn, and that's okay. But nowadays you've got so many choices of things that you can listen to in that rolling university. You could be riding along listening to episodes of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. You know what? I'll bet a majority. It'd be interesting to go to the Facebook group and put a post. Where do you hear the Pest Control Marketing Podcast? I'll guarantee you 99% of the people are listening. In fact, I've had some people say it on the group that they subscribe, and one of the things you can do in nowadays that you couldn't do back in the days when it was just CD players and cassette players and 8-tracks, if there was such a thing in your car. You either tune in to the broadcast, then came along satellite radio. Well, satellite radio is nothing more than national radio stations, and satellite radio took off because people don't like commercials. They don't want to hear music and then have to hear about the local car dealership or lawyer or whatever. They want to hear, what they're going for. Well, the thing about Dashboard University is nowadays, because of Bluetooth, because the fact that you can actually, every new car today comes with a plug-in that your phone can stream in audio, such as podcasts. YouTube videos can play the audio over your dashboard. And membership sites. There are so many ways that you can get the information to make your car drive time a learning experience rather than a time-wasted experience. So that's one of the things that's really, really powerful about the Dashboard University concept is now, if you don't know how to sync your phone via Bluetooth, or you don't have a 1/8-inch cable to plug your phone into the audio input of your car dashboard, then you need to learn these things. All new trucks and cars have this. And back in 2018, I don't know how new a car you got, but my new car, my 2016 Toyota, has a computer screen right there in the center of the dashboard. And I can actually get internet access in my dashboard, and I can actually tune in podcasts and web audio and streaming audio right there without my phone. So there is a multitude of ways of accessing the content. But you've
Oh,
got
mine's even more advanced. It's got a 110 outlet in it, so I can plug in my old radio and listen to it in my truck.
Well, you don't need to plug in your radio because they still put radios in them, FM and AM.
I know.
So the thing about your vehicle is, how are you using your time? One of the things I used to hear is that if you want to chop down trees, what's one of the first things you need to do? You need to sharpen your axe.
Yeah, I think that was Abraham Lincoln. He said, if I knew I had 5 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first hour sharpening my axe.
The last thing you want to do is start trying to chop down a tree with a dull axe. And learning what to do to make your business more profitable, more successful, more streamlined, doing things that everybody else isn't doing, that's going to make the difference, And where do you learn what to do? Well, listen to podcasts while you're driving to work, making sure that you got a rolling billboard. Make sure that the information on that billboard is what's going to make a difference. And if you leave those things out, you can't calculate the losses that you're getting. You can't. There's no way to do it.
You can train your brain. It's very trainable. And if you, for instance, I've got a client that told me he doesn't read. He said, I haven't, and he's, 30-something years. He said, I just don't like to read, never have read. I'm not a good reader, and don't do it. And I said, well, got a book I'd really like for you to read. And so he was having an issue. I said, you need to read this book. And actually, the book was Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Anyway, he got into this book, and every week now in the coaching call, he tells me how much he appreciates me, because he said, I'm a new person. He said, I'm absorbing this. It's changing my life. And he said, I am from this point forward, I am a lifetime reader. And we got books he's read, but he wasn't a reader up to that point because it just wasn't what he did. But just reading that one book has changed his life dramatically for the positive. So you can listen to things, you've never forgotten anything, Mike. You might not be able to recall everything, but you've never forgotten it, because everything you've ever put into your head is still there. It's filed away in your subconscious memory. And so when you listen to things while you're driving your vehicle, you listen to motivation, you listen to sales techniques, marketing strategies, business strategies, all that stuff goes into your head. It never comes out. And so when the opportunity is right and your brain needs to recall it, it will recall it. And so it can just has a profound effect on how you operate in the future, both in your personal life and your business life. You operate based on the information that's been put into your file folders in your brain. So you need to be putting a lot of positive information. I know Zig Ziglar said one time, somebody said, Zig, this motivational stuff, he said, it's a bunch of bull. He said, it doesn't last. Zig said, well, neither does bathing either. That's why I recommend it daily.
I like that.
And so motivation, somebody can get you pumped up and motivated. And if you never revisit it or never hear it again, you get unmotivated. But the more you put in, the higher level you stay. And pretty soon you find yourself motivated all the time because of the information that you're putting into your brain. So that's why it's so important, not just to listen to talk shows and fun things and music. Listen to things that are going to better your life and retrain your brain in a positive and powerful and profound way.
I got two resources I want to leave with, and then we need to talk about how we're going to wind this up here. Number one, if you've never looked at audible.com or gotten the Audible app from Amazon, you can find pretty much any book as an audio book that you can listen to, training books as you're driving down the road. And I just looked here. This inspired me to look. Did you know Nightingale Conant, the big inspirational training audio world that was started by Earl Nightingale back in the 50s, has a major YouTube channel, Hal. Major YouTube channel with tons of free classic things like Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn I'm looking at right now, Joe Vitale, Robert Allen. I mean, these are the masters of success. And you could go here at zero cost. Larry Winget. I mean, the list is Wayne Dyer. I'm just Brian Tracy. They're all on here for free. So how are you going to use that vehicle? You're going to market with it? Are you going to learn in it? Or are you just going to drive down the road mad you had to go to work? I hope that's not you. And you know what? One of the things to get over that hump, call Hal Coleman. Call him at 770-993-0004, 770-993-0004. And if they call you, Hal, tell them what you're going to do for them.
I will do it. I will actually, we'll have a brief chat, and I'll send you a questionnaire to fill out about your business and your marketing and your things you struggle with. It's very simple. It'll take you 10 minutes to fill it out. And you send it back to me, and we'll set aside an hour that I'll spend with you. It'd be absolutely free, no obligation, no strings attached. But I'll take that questionnaire, and I will go through it ahead of time, and I will make notes, and I will give you some great. What I'm looking for is the low-hanging fruit that you just have to duck to get underneath, and that I always find some from the answers to that questionnaire. So if you'll do that, then I will do that. So give me a call or email me, and if you'd like to spend some time together, I would love to do that with you.
And you give me a call at 770-826-3662. I'm Mike Stewart. If you want to just have a little look at your website and talk about things that you could do to where people might start listening to you and learning and finding you. You know, there's 10 things that most people never do to have an internet presence, and I'd love to see if you're doing all 10 of them or none of them. The only way we're going to know is take a look at what's going on, and I'd love to share that with you absolutely free. Hal, I got to get out of here. My gosh, this morning is slipping away from us. It's time to go.
I got to get out of here too, Mike. And folks, we appreciate it as always, you listening to the episodes of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. We hope it's helpful to you. We're passionate about it. We want to help you grow your business and be more successful. You can call us anytime if you have a question, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast.
Want to take your pest control business to the next level and beyond? Have I got great news for you? Every February, the weekend after the Super Bowl, Hal Coleman and Mike Stewart host the PCO Marketing Event of the Year. Learn what's new in online and offline marketing from Mr. Online and Mr. Offline, Hal and Mike. Previous attendees continue to rave about the results they are achieving using the strategies and techniques they learned at this mind-blowing weekend event last year. This event is only for people who are serious about doubling, tripling, and even quadrupling their sales and their business faster than they ever imagined. So if that's you, reserve your seat now at nextlevelpcomarketing.com. That's nextlevelpcomarketing.com. Or call Hal at 770-993-0004. When enrollment opens, you can find out all the details at our website, nextlevelpcomarketing.com. To take your business to the next level, you're only one click or call away.
Google Pest Control Marketer. Grow your business like never before. Call 770-993-0004.